Alright, hey guys, this is a special review. This is not count as our weekly review.
No.
We're going to consider this the Halloween 2, H2, Rob Zombie's H2, spoiler review. It's not really so much a review as us going through and telling you exactly what we didn't like about the movie. Because I think we've gotten in kind of like these YouTube arguments, as you would call them,
Yes.
with people who have given their reviews, and I don't have a problem with hearing other people's reviews at all.
Everyone's had their own opinion.
But when you criticize my opinion and then don't have anything to back it up other than saying it was awesome, had awesome cinematography, but don't go into the actual cinematography itself, or just say it was a breath of fresh air and leave it as it was new, so it's awesome, I have a problem with that. Like,
If
definitely.
he has a problem, I have a problem.
So you need to like really
Can't sleep at night 'cause
you
this
really
guy.
need to tell us what is it that you like about it. So we're going to go through and tell you what we didn't like about it.
And what we did like.
Okay.
I mean, not what we did like.
And number one, I'm a true horror fan. I grew up on horror. Like, since I was like probably 6 or 7 when I started watching horror. And I watch all countries of horror. I watch all different aspects, whether it be thriller, suspense, zombie, slasher, ghost. I like all types of horror.
I like drama.
True. He does like drama.
I do.
But, okay, first off, the opening of Halloween 2. The ending of Halloween 1, Rob Zombie's Halloween, ends with her sitting on top of Mike Myers' body, shooting him in the head with blood on her
Head
face.
exploding on the face. Cops coming. You hear him.
And, yeah, you hear the cops, and it cuts to, like, a baby wipe of her crying as a baby or something.
Yeah, home footage.
But the cop sound is so loud, so you're to assume the cops will be there.
Yes.
H2 starts off where she's walking down the streets, no noise at all, and then a slow rise of the cop noise until the cops find her on the street. Now, how is that
just
where
Right, yeah, just the sheriff.
yeah,
The sheriff.
how is that where the first one left off? We're to assume that really quickly, with blood in her face, which it's not as much in this one,
Yeah.
so you would assume that it was much more time later, but she fled the scene to have cops meet up with her? I mean, I know he was going for dramatic opening and stuff, but if you're going to pick up a film right where it left off, pick up right where it left off.
Like the original.
The second problem we really had with it, Loomis's character.
Is not Loomis.
And I know some people are saying if you don't go into this disattaching yourself from the original, you're not going to like it. Okay, fine, I'll give you that. But Loomis's character is something that a story arc requires. It's the character that tries to save people. See, what they
Yes.
did here was they tried to make Brad Dourif's character that character.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but then why was Loomis's character that character in the first one? You've completely ruined the character. Not to mention that in the first one, his eyes were gouged out. His eyes are completely fine in this one.
I've heard of eye transplants.
I don't know.
For the blind.
And he even
Blind.
acknowledges in this film, he's like, I had a close call with Mike Myers. But I'm like wondering, what did Mike Myers like scratch your corneas with his fingernails? That was a close call? Because what I've seen, especially in this movie, another thing I have a severe problem with, is that they made Mike Myers the Hulk.
He's gigantic.
And he, like,
I mean, yes,
he was
he's a
already
big
too
guy.
big in the last
Yes.
one. But in this one, he lifts cars.
He does lift a car by himself and throws it down a hill.
Like, what?
Rips open doors. He's always body slamming everybody.
He's too
He
too
choke
strong.
slams everyone.
And I think Rob Zombie's problem with this is he like, it wasn't the fact that Mike Myers was a big guy that made it scary. You know, that's not the essence of Michael Myers. I mean, the very fact that he was a kid and he killed people was the essence of, wow, that's some stuff I don't want to mess with because this guy's crazy. There's something wrong in his head. Not the fact that he's just some wrestler who's bent on like a cocaine addiction and just going around beating the crap out of people.
He used to be a wrestler. The guy that played Mike Myers.
Well, there you go.
Yes, and Sabretooth.
The other problem, let's see, for the viewers of ours that say it's a breath of fresh air, it's something new, and therefore it's good. This
Have
is
you
not,
ever heard of Psycho?
or Friday the 13th, where a dead mother or an idea of a dead parent has pushed their son to kill, whether the white horse reason or not. This is not original. This was Halloween, Friday the 13th, Psycho is all mixed together into a new Halloween. This is pulling ideas from other existing horror movies. This is not new. So don't give me this is new. And the dinner table scene is a ripoff of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which the first House of a Thousand Corpses Rob Zombie movie was a ripoff of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So come on, people. Don't tell me it's original when it's just him pulling from other things. And there's nothing wrong with that. Quentin Tarantino pulls from like Japanese fighting kung fu movies and white, what is it, those women in power filming from the 70s all the time. There's no problem with it, but don't argue that it's original, therefore it's good. It's not original. I'm sorry to break it to you, but if you're a true horror fan, you know the originals. Alright, long drawn out moments, there was tons of them in this, where people are stabbed and they don't realize they're stabbed until later on. Or someone's in a car and they're screaming for like literally, and I'm not exaggerating, like 2 to 3 minutes.
It's pretty much 2 minutes of him spitting out his teeth and blood and like water falling out of his mouth as he screamed, "Help me!
Yeah.
Help!"
It's
gonna be the next 2 minutes of what they watch.
And if that were the case, I would say turn it off.
Yes.
But you can't when you're in theaters. The cinematography, for what people are saying, the cinematography was really good. I mean, it wasn't the worst cinematography I've ever seen, but when you talk about let's talk about like the scene breakdown and the shot angles. He would jump from wide shots to close-ups on people's mouths to show their gritty teeth, but it's not motivated. Like, you have to, every cut and editing and stuff has to be motivated. And he likes a method. He did it in the first one, but he did it a lot in this one, where he shoots through an object. Yeah. Well, no, he'll shoot through like a window he'll shoot through a window where like rain is pouring through. And that's a cool shot, but you never stay on it long. He stays on it for an entire scene where the entire image is muddled up. You can't tell what's going on. And I mean, that's his gritty style, and that's his style. I'm not criticizing, but to be like, oh, it's wonderful cinematography. If I shot through a dirty window, an entire short, or a lens that I hadn't cleaned ever, would you call it good cinematography? Let's stop letting Rob Zombie like precede the actual product that he puts out. Just because it's Rob Zombie doesn't mean that the product he puts out is going to be good. I hate when people blindly follow people just because they like their previous stuff.
Yeah.
And as far as the acting, what's her name? Tatum, the girl who plays Laurie Strode.
Scout Taylor Compton.
Yeah, I watched one of our people's reviews, and he's like, I know people are going to criticize it, but she did a good job, even though everybody else said she did a bad job. I'm sorry, but she did a bad job. She didn't come off real at any point. She's a new actress. I'm not saying she's never going to be good, but I'm just saying in this role, she's not believable. She's no good.